Hi, everyone. Hi, everyone. Thank you all for coming today. My name is Cindy, and I work with the Wood and Wick Co. and partner with Michaels to bring you amazing classes. So thank you so much for joining me today. We're going to have lots of fun. We're going to make all natural soap, and we're going to use some micas to enhance it, make it even more fun and shimmery. If you've never heard of the Wood and Wick Co. before, we exist to empower, educate, and inspire people who to be as creative as possible around the globe, and we supply candle making supplies, soap, and more. So I'm so excited to be partnering with Michaels today, and everything we do is located online with Michaels. And the first thing we're going to do is we are going to make the Handmade Happiness DIY Kit. And what that is an all natural soap that's going to be shimmery and sustainable, and it's just going to be beautiful for the holiday season. This is a recorded session, so if you don't have the kit in front of you right now, there's always time to still get it. Plus, you might be able to just use some other things to substitute as well as we go along. So why would anyone want to make soap? I mean, we all can go to the grocery store or boutiques and buy beautifully packaged soaps, right? So why do we want to make it anyway? I mean, it's more work, right? Well, it would seem so. However, most people get into soap making because they want to control the ingredients that go on their body or their family's body, whether they're allergic to it, sensitive to it, or just want to make sure that they're using the cleanest, best ingredients for themselves and their family. And making your own soaps keeps all the undesirable things out and lets you focus on what you can control and what you want on your skin. So there is a whole lot of benefits to making your own. Plus, like I said earlier, it is super fun. I used to be, and I still love making candles, don't get me wrong. I still am a candleholic too. But I never knew how much fun soap making was until I started, and it's become another addiction for me. Why? Not only do I get to control the ingredients, but I get to have fun and play with different things to make it my own. So it's very creative. You get to add different enhancers and additives and botanicals and mica powders, just different things, and you just experiment, and it becomes your own thing, your own piece of soap. And you can either give it to a friend or family, because once you start making soap, you start making a lot of soap because it's so much fun that you have more soap than you need. So you have to have friends who want your soap, which works out well because all of my friends and family love it. So it's just super fun. I hope you'll follow along with me today and enjoy the hobby as well. So the first thing we're going to do is I just forgot to mention there are 4 different ways that you can make soap. We're going to focus today on melt and pour. There is also things called cold press, hot process, and rebatching. But today's is going to be melt and pour. Why? It is actually the easiest. It is the easiest to clean up. It is just great for beginners. It's fun. You can do it with young kids. You can do it with anyone. It's quick. The whole process, like the drying of it and the curing, within 6 hours, you should be able to use your soap. Whereas other forms, you have to wait even weeks. I've seen 4 to 6 weeks. So we don't have that. And most importantly, it doesn't create lye, which is a chemical compound that is sort of controversial, and you have to be very careful when you use it. So for all those reasons, we're going to start today with melt and pour. Super easy. So the kit looks like this from Michaels, and everything in the kit is recyclable and biodegradable. So that's really nice for the environment. You're not going to hurt anything as well, not only on your skin, but the environment. So we have the wood fibers, which are biodegradable as well. And then we're going to take out the base. This is what is going to be the whole other than what we're going to add to it, such as the fragrance and the mica powder, this is your solid, all natural vegan base. It is made of coconut oil, a little bit of jojoba oil, and cocoa mango butter is the main ingredient. It is known to be extremely gentle, extremely hydrating, and just super healthy for your skin. It actually rejuvenates it, keeps your skin really like young and youthful. It's a beautiful product. So we're going to be using this as our base. Again, if you like cooking, you're going to love soap making because it's kind of similar. You start with some ingredients and then you kind of tweak here and there and add. Super fun. And it's super relaxing once you get the hang of it, because studies have shown that using your hands, whether it's making soap, candles, gardening, cooking, anything with your hands, is a natural stress reliever. So you'll see when you're making your soap, you're like really focused on what you're doing. And it's like natural therapy, honestly. You're not thinking about your work or your kids or what you need to do the next day. It's just very zenful experience. And then you come out with this amazing product that you get to use. So there's that self-satisfaction too. And then also when you give it to other people, you're giving them a gift of something that you made for yourself, from yourself, and it just is so meaningful and you feel really proud of yourself. And that's kind of why I really enjoy it, because it's like, yes, I made that for you, and it's not hard at all. It's just a beautiful product to make. So we have the cocoa mango base that I told you about. Then it comes with the fragrance and a bamboo stirrer, which, you know what? I've actually used this after the fact for a charcuterie board. Had friends over last weekend and used this for some jam on the crackers and cream cheese. It's kind of cute way to recycle it anyway. And then we're going to be using creamy vanilla and coconut sugar. This is actually one of my very favorite fragrance oils. You can use essential oils as well in soaps. A lot of people have those around their house if they want to use that as well. But this is one of my absolute favorite. It has 3 notes actually. So there's a top, a middle, and a base note. So the top note is going to be honey. And then the middle note is going to be like a caramel coconut flavor, as best as I can describe it. And the bottom is going to be like a brown sugar. It is amazing. Highly recommend this. Creamy vanilla coconut. I have to get a smell of it. I'm sorry. I just love it so much. Oh, heaven. Yes, I am a fragrance freak. I love fragrances. So we're going to use that. And it comes with your molds, which we'll be using in a little bit. And then this is the mica powder that I told you about, and it is ethically sourced as well. And it is super fun to work with this. And it does come in all different colors, and it changes the color of your soap. It's super fine, and this one is super shimmery. So I actually like it for holidays. I'm gonna put the box just down here so it's not in my way. So we're gonna be using that today, and that's gonna be fun. And I could show you different ways to actually use the mica powder. So with that said, step number 1, when you get a kit, it does come with instructions. So if I'm not there to lead you through, might not be as fun, but you have your instruction. It's very simple. So we're going to go ahead, and the first step is to cut your cocoa mango base into like 5 or 6 chunks so it melts easier in the microwave. This I honestly think is the hardest part. You can use a regular knife. It's not hard to cut, but it just takes like a little bit of pressure to do that. And it is awesome. Thank you guys for following along here as I cut. So what we're gonna do is, I like to chop it, even though you don't only need to chop it like 5 or 6 times. I like to chop mine a little bit more because then it melts faster. We're going to melt this in increments of, really, it says to do 30-second increments. So in your microwave, you're going to want to do that. I already know that my microwave is kind of low on power and it takes longer than 30 seconds to melt this. So I'll just keep checking mine probably every minute or so as we go along. And the chat is being monitored today by Melissa and Bailey, my co-workers at the Wood and Wick Co. So if I leave you with questions, feel free to write it in the chat and we'll get them answered for you. So it's super easy. Like I said, you just cut it up and away we go. So we're getting towards getting sudsy, right? We're gonna put it in the microwave and I'm gonna press 2 minutes and I'm gonna keep an eye on it just to make sure it goes and melts properly. And then we will go to the next step. So the next step is going to be, we're going to pour the entire contents of the fragrance oil into the melt and pour. And we're going to stir it with the bamboo stirrer. That's kind of a very zenful activity, actually, because when you're stirring, it's a lot like cooking. You're just like focusing on what you're doing. And you can smell the fragrance oil mixed with the base. It is just, I enjoy doing that. And I'm sure you will too. So we're going to do that. And then when we talk about mica powder, so you could do so much with this. So with these different molds, I'll experiment and show you different methods of using the mica powder. And like I said, mica powder comes in all different colors, but this one is like a copper shimmering one. And we're not gonna, even while I look at it, it's melting, but it's not all the way melted by any means. So we're gonna keep going on that. But you do wanna make sure that you don't overcook your base. And then, so I'll show you with the mica powder, you can mix it in completely. You can pour, like, let's do that one right now while we wait. You can actually pour a tiny bit, look at this powder, if you will. It is so cool. It's almost like eyeshadow, but a little thicker and so glimmery. Love it. So here's one option. You can put it in the mold. And what I'm doing is being silly right now. And I'm making polka dots with it. I mean, like, that's what I like about how creative you can be with soap. You can just do anything you want to do. This is awesome. Okay. Ta-da, it's done. Okay, so, well, it has a little bit, but I'm not gonna worry about finishing it off. I'll still have plenty. Okay, so you're gonna mix this for about a minute once you pour in your fragrance oil. And like I said, we're using creamy vanilla and coconut sugar. Yummy. All right. Now, so I wanted to show you while I am stirring. All I did on that one is just put some polka dots in there. So when I do go and take it out, which won't be while we're in class because it actually has to set and cure, but the back side of it will have polka dots. It's going to be very cute. But you could do all sorts of things. So I could also, which I will when I get to the end of this, I can pour in and change the color of my soap base by adding some mica powder. But since I don't want all of them to be the same color, I'm going to wait a little bit to the end and then just do one or two all mixed up with the mica powder. And then you can also use a Q-tip or a paintbrush. You can mix swirls in. We'll do that with some of them. That's what I was trying to explain to you. What's super fun about soap is you could do anything you want. You could create it. So you have like 8 choices here. You can make them all the same. You can make them all different. I typically like mine all different. here is an example of one I've done recently, has blue flowers in it. This one has lavender. Again, I was totally playing around with my lavender, and I was putting in like one full thing of how many lavender buds can I get on one piece of soap. And then the next one, I would only drop like 3 pieces in. And I would just like, I was totally playing with what looks best. And it was so much fun. Okay, so the first one I'm going to pour in, let's see. And it does dry pretty quickly, so I got to make some decisions here. So I'm going to pour in, I'm going to do that last one last. And then I'm going to use mica powders to show you different options of what you can do. I'm assuming that most people on this call have not made soap before, but maybe you guys have, and you totally agree with me on how fun this is. And so I wish I could show you how it's, when you pop them out, there's also so satisfaction in that. So at the end, like when they're all fully done, which doesn't take very long, by the way. But before these go on me, let me show you what you can do. I'm gonna put, hopefully you can see me splattering. This is so cool. Okay, this one I'm going to mix. So this one is going to be a swirly poo. Okay. Okay, now this one is going to be a ton of powder. All right, this one is just going to be like dot, dot, dot. This is so cool. I can't wait for you guys to do this. But anyway, it is so fun to just do such different things with this. And it is really calming to the soul to just play around with your different options of how to use mica powder. Like I said, you could put it in the bottom, so it'll be on the flip side when you pop it out, or just, see, I like just do weird stuff like splat, like that's gonna be really cool, splat. So if you have any questions, this one I decided I'm gonna do a swirly. And actually it's turning it almost completely like an orangish copper color. Just decided to swirl it all in. And that last one, I just want to keep playing. So I'm not going to do anything with that one. So that is what we have here. So simple, so fun, so creative, and you control the ingredients. Like I said, I have multiple different additives. So it's like cooking. You start with a basic recipe, and then you're like, you know what? I'm going to put garlic in that, and I'm going to put some sage in that, even if it doesn't go with the recipe, right? So what? At the end of the day, you get a piece of soap, you don't like it, you toss it. You haven't learned hurt, or you use it anyway. You can even recycle it, chop it up, make it a whole nother thing in the future with it. So you really just can't mess up soap. And it's so fun. I love giving it as gifts, like I said. So with the holidays coming up, give the gifts of soap. Try it out. It's just super fun. It's also fun if you do it with somebody. So you guys like together, you and your daughter or a friend get together and make soap. It's just super fun. And again, using it is also fun because when I go in the shower or wash my hands, I know like I created this. This is awesome. And like my son came home from college today and he didn't know that I put soap that I had made in his bathroom. And he came out and he was like, Mom, this soap in here was really cool. Like it just lathered perfectly and like it just was really moisturizing. I'm like, yeah, I was seeing if you would notice, I made that soap last week. So he was pretty impressed. So it's just fun. Highly recommend you try it. Try something new. You don't like it, nothing lost. You've learned how to make soap. And with that said, is there any questions I can answer? Is everything, if Melissa, is there any questions I still need to go over?
No questions here. I've been answering a couple about the mica powders, but if you want to talk about if the mica remains intact as someone uses the soap, or if you want to talk about using the soap with the micas on it once it's finished.
Okay. In particular, I didn't know, like, it's not going to come off on your hands. Is that what do you want to speak about it? Because I'm not sure where you wanted me to.
Sure.
Go.
Yep, the mica powder will create a little bit of a shimmery sheen on your hands when you wash it, but when you wash it off, no color will remain on your hands
Right.
when you wash it completely. Or when you're washing your hands or washing your body with it specifically.
Yeah, you don't have to worry about it permanently or anything like that, and it will just rinse right off. But it looks really cool. And I love all the different colors that it comes in too. That is super fun. So with that said, I hope you enjoyed today's experience and we'll try soap making. Again, Michael's has all you need online. So thank you all for coming today. I hope you enjoyed it. Bye-bye.